I never thought this day would come where we see Rutendo Benson Matinyarare being thrown under the bus by ZANU PF after supporting the cause of sanctions. Now that the sanctions are removed, they are throwing under the bus. Mainly because Rutendo is advocating for dumping foreign kind of food. I'll explain why. Rutendo has been going on talking about the GMOs and everything. However, I get where his point is coming from, but I don't know about the extremes that is before the courts. One thing that I agree with Rutendo, though, is if you look at this year that we are facing drought, we have a lot of people that are going to be facing drought. That is for sure. But one thing that really makes me to wonder is, why is it that we have drought-resistant crops that our forebears used to grow, that we have almost totally abandoned, that is not being taken care of much by the GMB, and there are a few companies that are encouraging people to farm mapfunde, like Chibuku, Delta. They are paying farmers so that they can actually help in beer production, much of it. But here is the good thing about our traditional kind of crops, like mapfunde, zhio, munga. These three crops, which is your rapoko, millet, and finger millet. The good thing about these crops, if you just do a quick research, you'll find out that they are drought-resistant crops. And any sane, institution would have encouraged people to get into that, knowing that El Nino was predicted about 2-3 years ago, and we knew that it was going to come. So the good thing that could have been done was to prepare for an El Nino by encouraging farmers to farm these drought-resistant crops. And not only are they healthy to consume. Right now, if you look at Sadzare Rio or Sadzare Munga, you find it is very, very expensive because not so many people are farming Sadzare Munga or Sadzare Rio. But one thing that you are sure is this is healthy stuff. And number two, looking at the killer disease that we are now facing in the world right now, it's no longer HIV, it's not COVID, it is actually cancer, which is now second in terms of the disease that is killing most people in the world, which is being topped by heart diseases. But if you then just look at it and say, let's look at the heart disease, what it does. Mostly it's mainly caused by obesity. And what is causing obesity is this junk stuff that people are eating. And here in Africa, we're so blessed to be having food that is healthy, full of iron, that preserves lives. So the most noble thing that would be done by the government is to make sure that they encourage farmers to farm traditional crops, not just for them to sell or for commercial, but for subsistence. To say all those rural folk, to say have at least maybe 2 tons for your family, yezhio, or 2 tons ye munga. Not just with mungo bigadoro, no, 2 tons of munga for you to sustain yourself and to keep healthy. Not only to keep healthy, but to make sure that your family is not attacked by disease. Because those people, if you look at our old people, I remember watching a video of Kundai's Chima talking to this lady, and she was narrating of her mother-in-law who lived for more than 100 years because of eating healthy.
1520 years.
All right.
She used to eat traditional foods only. No cooking oil.
All right.
There's no other day she was sick. And she died with all her sight. She died with all her memory. She didn't lose any memory at all. They think it's because she used to eat Gio, Mapunde.
This is amazing.
So it is important for people to go back to basics. Let's go back and eat sadza, Mapunde, Munga.
Yes.
The white sadza is meant for mombe, for cattle.
Okay.
Yes, when the white man came, you know,
They are the ones who
the white man is a good man, but at times, you know, he removed us from our normal life.
Normal way of living.
Yes, they said, no, that is too much, too cumbersome. Kutswa, kudzura, kurudza, kurugaisa. No, just leave, abandon that. Take maize and go and gaisa, and then you eat. But that maize is meant for mombe. This is why a lot of people of us are now sick with cancer, BP, and all those things. Because the white maize is for mombe.
That is something I never heard something.
So you
like
must preach the gospel that people should go back and make sure to grow
organic
here.
I know of Baba Guti, the centurion, the late. He stopped eating food. White sadza, longest time. So one of the things that kept him to be old that long was, one, he would exercise, and number two, he was also a man who would eat traditional foods. You know, so it's one of these things that we should now be encouraging our people to farm, and that's where Rutendo is coming in. But anyway, he has been thrown under the bus. But what do you make of this move by ZANU PF or by the Grain Millers Association? You can see the article that is there on the Herald. Rutendo has a huge bill of a court case against Zed Kounaris, the owner of Chicken Inn and Simbisa brands. What is your thoughts about this move? Is it a move because he is encouraging government to not mourn about the sanctions? What do you think has caused Rutendo Matinyarare to be thrown under the bus because he's talking about the issues of GMOs? Love to hear your thoughts.